Hello everyone, this is Rosemary, and this is just a sequel to my 5 cards and 5 envelope video that I made last year. And this time, instead of using Christmas cards, I'm using some flowered cards. Now these cards, here's another example. I purchased at a thrift store, and they were about $1 each. And they were just exceptionally beautiful or fun. So what this is just showing you, this is going to be a one signature journal, but I wanted to show you how I prepared these cards to fit in a journal. This is an example of one, and I don't know if this one's going to go in, but it was basically a trifold. So I cut off the center panel. But many of these have sentiments, they're sympathy cards, get well cards, even birthday cards. So what I did was I gessoed the sentiment and then I covered it with a doily. So you'll see that technique used throughout this, this short video. Now, different cards are going to call for different things. So this one, because I took out that center panel, I have a hinge which I will cover with lace, or I will cover it with some washi tape. Now this one, many times we can cover the sentiment with a piece of paper, and this one, the colors just work perfectly. Now I could put it in just like this as a page, but what I've decided to do is I added 2 hinges, one at the top and one at the bottom. And this is going to be a side loading pocket. Because one of the things you're going to do, because these cards are coming from charities, they have a lot of writing on the back. So it's the front, the center, and the beginning that you're going to have to do some camouflaging. So this is what you are going to see in this one signature. Now this journal is almost ready to be sewn into its cover. But I wanted to show you, I did last year was the 5 cards and 5 envelopes. This time it's 8 cards and 5 envelopes. So this is a card I decided to use at the beginning. Right here, the very bottom, you can see I gessoed, and I usually gave it 2 coats. And you can see there's something there, but I put a little bit of distress ink, and it kind of passes. No one would really notice it. You open it, and here I also gessoed the sentiment. But this card lends itself for camouflaging because I just put a doily. Now I put the doily, just glued it on there. I did not use my napkin technique because sometimes that technique, the doily paper is so thin you will not see it. It'll be totally flat and it'll just melt into the background. So I wanted the texture to show, so I just glued it with ink. Now here in the back, one of the things I like doing was making a pocket from a napkin. And because I cut around the napkin design, it looks very much like it's part of the card, except you have that center design. And this is how I cover all the writing that's down at the bottom. So this is a pocket. And you can see, once you add the tags, you won't see it. But if you want to cover it, I could put a butterfly right there. I could put some more, another piece of doily, just to add some daintiness, and then put the butterfly. So there's many ways that you can cover the backs, you know, the writing that you don't want. So you can see right there how I have it arranged, how this doily adds to this, and then you put a butterfly there and no one would know. So this is a technique I use, this pocket in the back, because the cards have a lot of strength. It's a thicker paper that you know, makes them they're good for pockets. Now that was card number 1. Here comes card number 2, little kind of different card. This card opens up and down like this, not sideways. So what did I have to do? I had to trim. It was really pretty on the edge there, but I had to trim it to be 5.5 inches wide, which is the width of the journal pages. And then when you open up, you see this butterfly? I moved it over. And you can see right there where I moved it over. I'll probably put a flower right there in the corner to camouflage that little patch. And there you have all this wonderful journaling space. Now, the back. As I said, these cards, a lot of them come from charities. So they have writing at the back. So I did two things. Well, two things are going to be done. One is, how am I going to attach this type of card into a journal? I glued an envelope. And you can see that the top, the flap of the envelope right there. You can kind of see that, and then I trim the extra. Now, this part right there, I'm going to glue a piece of paper, and it will be ready for journaling. And you can see the back is some wonderful space. And I can leave it alone, decorate it, whatever I want to do. So there will be a piece of paper right there, and there will be a piece of paper right there, and will be ready for the journal. So that's one way you can connect them, especially when you have these kinds of cards that are flipping up instead of the sideways. Now, here's another card. And why I put them together, so close together, I don't know. But it's again a very beautiful card. Up here, you can see I gessoed. And you can also see the doily. And it goes with the card. Here, there was some gessoing, and I used a bigger doily. I don't know if it will come through in the camera. I didn't want to distress it on this. And here in the back is another card, another pocket. And I will, again, like I mentioned, that one is probably going to have a butterfly, and it will camouflage it just fine. So that is card number 3. And you're wondering about all this doily. Well, there's pages in between all of these cards, so it's not like you're having card to card. This is also envelope 3 and 4. And what I did was I trimmed them. And on this back one, you can see I hinged them together. And I'm going to tell you, I really don't know exactly how I hinged them, because, you know, you're just kind of working them through. So I'm not ready to make a tutorial or explain exactly how I did it. But I did hinge them together, and I trimmed them, cut them. Nothing like my dogs cooperating. And here I lined the envelopes because the paper's a little bit thin, and I wanted a little strength because these are pockets. And there will be closures when you see the walkthrough. So this are envelope 2 and 3. And let's find the other one. This is also a note card. This note card here, I coffee stained it. It had some writing, so this is the same kind of paper right here, and I covered the front and the back. Or shall I say, yeah, there you can see. This is what it looked like. And right here, there must have been a sentiment. And then the back where it explains the company. So I just put it like this. And you notice I turned it so instead of the front being, just to add some design. So you don't have to flip them the same way. I think we're now on card number 4. Now card number 4 is very pretty. It has this little window, which I wanted. And you can see I've gessoed, and I put 2 coats there. Now, if you really want to work on it, you can, but I kind of wanted some of the natural color to come through. I didn't want it to look like a white patch. I will probably put a piece of lace, maybe a ribbon or both, on this to cover that up when you see it in its completed form. Now here, it also had some writing, and you know, I gessoed it. Here's the doily, and then I put some napkin, because this napkin, kind of matches the print around the flower that's used in here. So I thought that was pretty dramatic. This has been gessoed, and yes, even with 2 coats, the printing will show through. So right here on this one, I might add a piece of lace. I might add a pocket. I'm not quite sure, but this is going to be covered. We turn to the back, and instead of a pocket, I have another card. And again, this is another thing you could do with these types of cards. You can attach it to another piece of cardstock or heavy paper because of the weight. So I attach it to the back of the card, and I put some hinges, so it's going to be a pocket. I put some lace at the bottom, and it was you. So right here there was some more writing, so I put a piece of paper. Right up here you can kind of see a little seam line. Might put another piece of lace, might put some washi, not quite sure exactly. Maybe some napkin will be put in there, I don't know. But something is going to cover that, camouflage this. So here is 2 cards. This one right here, like I've been using the doily and the washi. This one, I hinged it, and it becomes, look at all the journaling you have right there for pictures. And then here is a tag. So I think on, this was like what, 4 and 5? Card 4 and 5. And then, let me see. Here is another card, and you can see these are exceptionally pretty cards. They could go into any journal. You don't have to do this like I put them as a feature. But there you see, right here in the corner, there was a sentiment. It's been covered, washi and a doily. This sentiment, this little poem, I left it there. Why? Because I thought it was nice. And there you see the doily. I didn't even trim it there. I like it because it acts like lace. And here is that napkin pocket. This is a technique that I like to use, and I'll be making a tutorial on how I do these. And they're very dramatic, and they're just very pretty. And again, a butterfly will probably cover that, and it will be another pocket, and it will be camouflaged. So, and here is again, this is envelope 4 and 5, same technique. They are pockets with journaling. There will be probably a closure on them. And then there is, I think this is card number 7. Card number 7. Again, you're seeing, but because you're putting the doilies in different places, it doesn't really matter that you're using it. And because it's going into a journal, it just adds a little bit of well, it makes it look, it just keeps the journal all together. And you can see how I've been using it. You can kind of see the white splotches. This is why, if you want to keep covering it up, you might have, if you can make your own doilies from cardstock, that would solve that problem. But I kind of like that little bit of translucency through it. And once the owner gets to writing or decorating them, no one would ever know that there was writing there. And now for the last card, it's this one. This was just a note card. It was gifted to me. And you can see, instead of like this, putting it in like that, I turned it. And this was just a plain note card. So it just, I can do some stamping, I can leave it alone, I could do distressing. So those are the 8 cards and 5 envelopes that are used in this journal. Now I'm now ready to sew in all these pages into the cover. But I just wanted to share, this is a sequel to my 5 cards and 5 envelopes Christmas. It was a Christmas journal. This time it's going to be a flower one. So again, all you have to do is get a collection of cards. It can be as few as 5 cards, And you can see I've used 8, and if I add this one, it would be 9 cards. I don't know if I'm going to add this. But again, just sharing some ideas of how you can add some interest to your junk journals. So again, thank you for watching, and the video to this completed journal will be coming soon. And we'll see you again.